If we want to build a Gantt chart for a software project or for any project, we can do it in Microsoft Excel if we follow a few little tips and tricks. So you can see here that I have a basic kind of app development laid out in a Gantt chart over a course of maybe 2 months. Mightn't be a particularly realistic timeline and might be missing one or two steps, but really we just want to learn how to build the actual chart at this stage. So we can see that we have our tasks listed here and our durations for each task, and how long it will take to complete and at what stage they are, how incomplete they are. So we could update these figures. For example, if I was just after completing my class diagram, I enter my complete section in here and my Gantt chart updates a color to show that it's complete. And we can see here there's an incomplete. It also gives us a representation of tasks that are overlapping, or maybe if there's a gap between tasks. So if we want to do it, the first thing that we have to do is to lay out our data correctly. So if we have our tasks laid out, we have our dates inserted for each and our duration, how long we think it will take to complete each one, then we can figure out the rest of the details as we go on. So the completion and incompletion stages. So the first thing that we need to do is to insert a chart. So it's very particular which kind of chart we use. So we go up here to our charts, and I'm going to use the 3D stacked chart, this one here. Now it may show us some data on the chart. We can remove this very easily. So I'm just going to move this over here. So what we're going to do is select our chart, go up to our data option here in design. Now I'm just going to remove anything that appears in here. We don't want any of that data. So it gives us a blank chart again. Now at this stage we're going to add the information that we actually want. So the first thing is we add our dates. So our series name is just going to be the title, dates. Now I'm just going to add the actual dates themselves and the series values. So I'm going to delete this number 1 that appears and highlight my dates. I hit OK. I do the same now for my completion stage. Add my series name, add the data associated with it, and I hit OK. And then I do the same for incomplete. Series name is incomplete, and my series values go down as far as here. It's behind the chart, but that's where the list ends. And OK. So we can see now that it's beginning to take shape. One of the things that we need to do is to change the values over here on the left hand side. We don't want those numbers to appear. We want the tasks that are listed there. So if we just edit over here our label range, and we can select these values here, so our actual tasks, and they will appear now. So the next thing that we have to do, if we notice, they're actually appearing in reverse order. So if I hit OK and I get out of my chart settings, if I double click here on my labels, I will see an option in here to categorize in a reverse order. So if I select that, it switches around my values, so I can close that. Now I can decide maybe I want to get rid of this blue section of the Gantt chart because they're actually meaningless to us. So if we double click on the blues, we can select our color options here. We're going to select no fill and no line, and that will effectively hide those blue bars on us. So we're almost complete now. We just need to tidy up the dates on top. So if we double click on our dates or right click and format them, we'll see an option in here to set our text at an angle. So here we have our custom angle. I'm going to set it at 45 degrees. So it removes the kind of clutter that was there. So we're pretty much finished now. The only thing we might want to do is to remove this white gap at the start of our chart. So again, if we double click up here on our font or our labels, we will see an option here. These are the bounds of our chart. So I'm just going to change this value here. This is a numeric version of what our date is. So I'm just going to change this to 660. So that should reduce the amount of space that appears on our chart. So we can see it reduced slightly, not major. So I'll just change it again, maybe to 46675. And I hit return, and there we go. That's perfect. And that will give us our Gantt chart. So we can see now that if I just move this over a little bit so we can see what's going on, we can see that if I was to change a date, we'll say on my class diagrams, I have now completed. So I'll enter a 5 in here. It changed to incomplete 0 and it has updated over there. So we have our sort of interactive Gantt chart ready to go.